All right, we're here with Brian Kilmeade, co-host of Fox and Friends and author of George Washington's Secret Six. So this is a very interesting story. I was a history major, and I had this difficulty where I cannot read history books. They bore me, I lose interest. This was one that I've been reading. It has been fascinating to me. The way you wrote it really was able to keep my interest.
Well, thank you very much. Now, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Virginia.
So you never heard anything about this, or you did?
Nothing, and I've only really started hearing about it in the last few years, and I know you're from Long Island.
Right.
So that was sort of where all of this was located.
Yeah, and here's the thing, is as Sean would tell you too, we never knew anything about it. Here we're in the school. Think about the school trips you can go as you find out where Washington went to thank his spies in 1790. And we were able to uncover some original things as a team with Don Yeager in order to move it forward. And the more I looked into this, the more I could not believe what they accomplished in that short period of time.
Well, and how, I would imagine that after the war, they would be celebrated as heroes. How did it happen that they remained so secret, so unknown? And I know in the book you mentioned how one is the identity is not even known.
Right.
And one other conspirator, I guess, spy, their identity was known in the 1920s.
A couple of reasons why. Number one, back then when you're a spy, even if you're from the right side, it wasn't looked at in a positive sense.
It wasn't a gentlemanly thing to do.
Number two is these guys. You ever talk to Navy SEALs? These guys, they don't want any praise. They certainly don't do it for the money. So what they did is, why would I stand up and take a bow if I spent 4 years not telling anyone who I was? And they said they did it for the country, they did it for Washington, and their work was done. So that's the humility that you'd like to think that a lot of Americans have, which I think I witnessed, and if you're working with Sean, you witness that most of the military has.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the biggest question is, these were not professionals. These were just average people, correct? One tavern owner or a coffee shop owner.
That's a great point. What I was trying to say is, Washington belongs on the side of a mountain. He was an extraordinary guy, like Michael Jordan's an extraordinary basketball player. I can't relate to that type of talent, but if you take a tavern owner, if you take a farmer, if you take a dry goods owner, you take a guy that runs a printing shop, you take a woman that's a socialite, maybe, and a guy that's a seaman who likes to row, maybe I can relate to that. Maybe if they could show heroic qualities, maybe people in America could take pride in their efforts and mirror that should the time arise.
Well, thank you so much. I'm enjoying reading this. I'm not quite done, so don't tell me how it ends. I don't know which side won the war yet. But I really appreciate you taking time to talk with us, and I really encourage, I know everyone is saying this is a fantastic book. I agree with that. I've really enjoyed reading it. So few people know American history, and this is a part of American history that even fewer people know, so it's a great story to get out there.
And I know you don't want to know how it ends, but I would say put a lot of money on the British.
I will.
You really have.
I will. Ben and I are taking bets, so I'll take that advice to the bank. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.